Hello, welcome to One Africa Mission with your brother Dobia Anzanse. Please, if you are new here, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, One Africa Mission, and also follow us on Facebook, One Africa Mission. We are missionaries, and our mission is to fight for the unification of Africa. Our mission is to see a united Africa in our lifetimes. Our mission is to conscientize the youth of Africa to see the need for a united Africa, the need for Africa to be united. Because when King Leopold wanted to colonize, or when our country, Congo, was given to King Leopold, for him to colonize our people successfully, he has to send missionaries. And the missionaries' duty was to, first of all, brainwash our people into thinking that everything about them was negative and everything about King Leopold and his people was good. That was the mission of the missionaries. And today, our mission as well is to conscientize the youth of Africa, to see the need, the beauty of the African race, to see the value of the African race, and to see the need for a united Africa. That is our mission. So please join the mission, share our content, tell us the ideas, give us the ideas what we can do to see this unification of Africa become a reality. So please, I thank you very much for coming around. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, One Africa Mission, and also follow us on Facebook, One Africa Mission. We have a Facebook page. Like our Facebook page. Yeah, so once again, our duty, or as our mission is all about the dignity of the African race. Today, we're gonna do a self retrospection. We're gonna look into our own selves and then tell ourselves the reality, tell ourselves the hard truth. We saw this video from our brother, our king, our father, Joshua Maponga, whom we are dreaming to one day sit with here at African Mission. Our dream, or yes, our dream is one day to sit with people like King Maponga, Mama Arekana, those Pan-Africans. Our dream and our mission is one day to sit down with you people to take from your wisdom what a united Africa will do to Africa, or for the children of Africa. So yeah, our king Maponga made a short video, and he talked about how we don't know our value, which is very true. And then, the reality of this world, I want us to watch the short video, and then we come back to, it's a very short video, we come back to talk about it.
But we have gone to school, but school has not gone through us. We don't know our value as Africans. Our leaders don't know our value as leaders. And because we have no value, 700 black people can drown in the Mediterranean Sea, and it is not news. But 8 people, 5 people underground, 3 on top.
Yeah, so as you can see, our king and our elder, King Maponga, is talking about the need, or how we don't have value for ourselves as African people, which is a fact, which is the truth. You see, when Mother Nature gives you something and then you don't value it, the people who value it, they will come and take it to build their nations, and then you will end up being a slave to them. And that is what we haven't really understand yet. The African, as we speak today, doesn't know his value, what Mother Nature has given to him. And most of the time, we tend to think that just because we don't know our value, other people shouldn't know their value. But the world is not like that. Just because you hate yourself, just because you doesn't have respect for yourself as an African, or just because you doesn't put any value on yourself as an African, doesn't mean that the Europeans shouldn't put the value on themselves. It doesn't mean that the Europeans or the Americans shouldn't put value on himself. It doesn't mean that the Chinese shouldn't put the value on himself. It doesn't mean that the Japanese, the Arabian, the Arab, the Indian shouldn't put value on themselves. All over the world, everybody has, as we speak today, they are doing everything based on their nation or their race first, we are still fighting among ourselves and then trying or blaming other people for not putting value on us. Okay, but it is we never gonna gain that respect that we expect from people if we don't value ourselves. We are talking about 5 people missing, and the entire world media or the world media is showcasing it. But 700 Africans drowned in the sea, 200 Africans drowned in the sea, and nobody is talking about it. Why should they talk about it? Why should they talk? Why should they leave their own problems? You see, what we don't know is that, or what we are refusing to understand is that the people that we think or we are expecting to come and solve the problems of Africa for us, they have more problems than we do. The Chinese have more problems than we do in Africa. The Indians have more problems than we do in Africa. The Europeans are facing a lot of crisis in Europe. The Americans going through the same hell. And yet, we Africans, we have been conditioned by colonization, by the colonizers, to think that for us to solve our own problem or for us to find a solution to our problems, we need to wait for them. And when they betray or when they don't attend to us, we tend to feel being left behind. We should stop acting as if like we are children to those people. The last time there was, if you Google it, Titanic, the Senegal Titanic, there was a ship that sank in Senegal. Thousands of people perish. Nobody knows about it. Why? Because who is going to tell you that? Because we've been conditioned to think that, or to say that everything that happens is in the is the will of God. That is what that is another thing that colonization has done to us. Because the colonizers who told us to give everything to God, they themselves, they don't do that. If something happened, they will go deep and deep and deeper to the bottom of the what happened in order to prevent it the next time. But for us, what happened in Senegal, the only thing was that was going to happen is they should give it to God, because that is what the colonizers we've been conditioned spirituality to think. Spiritual colonization, that is another damage that spiritual colonization has done to us, to be given everything to God instead of us to finding solutions to the problems that is confronting us. So yes, we saw in Haiti what is going on, and then we see that when our people are crossing to crossing to America, we see how they are treating them, and then we can see how they are treating immigrants from refugees from Ukraine who looks like them. So why can't we also imagine if Africa has what it takes? Why can't we also bring an end to all this and stop expecting other people to give us the spotlight? Nobody is going to do that for us. So yes, it is true that the European media or the European media are always focusing on the negative side of Africa. You can never see them showing anything positive. Anybody who has ever seen anything being shown in European CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, anything positive from Africa, I bet you, I'll give you £1,000. But you can never see them showing anything positive about Africa. It is always negative, negative, negative. So what is preventing us from showing our own positives? Because it is in some part of in China, you cannot go to China and start videoing negative stuff about China. They will not allow you. You cannot go to Europe and start videoing negative things about Europe. They will not allow you. Why do we allow them to always portray Africa in the negative manner? Why? Because we don't value what we have. We don't value, and then we don't expect them not to also value who they are. So just because we don't have respect for ourselves, just because we don't value what Mother Nature has made us or given us, doesn't mean that the European will also be the same. So the Europeans see the 5 Europeans who gone missing to be more important to them than the whole of Africa, not just 700 people. And then you cannot blame them for that. If we also put a value on every single soul of African person, then we can also see that the blood of an African is sacred and is more valuable than anything on this planet Earth. If we can also see that, then that will be good for us. But if we don't see any value, look, our people are dying every day in the desert, in the Mediterranean Sea, every day. But what is the African Union doing about it? We don't see the African Union doing anything. Why? Because we have lost that Ubuntu spirit. Because it is not my child drowning in the Mediterranean Sea. It is just another African soul. So it is none of my business. That is what is happening to us. Because as our leader, our elder said, Joshua Maponga said, we don't put any value on ourselves. So why do we blame the European for that? If the European doesn't put value on the African, it is just that the African himself doesn't put value on himself. If we put value and see the blood of an African, every African as secret, our people will stop dying in the Mediterranean Sea because we will do everything we can to bring an end to it. I have never seen the African Union having emergency meetings just to bring an end or to stop the children of Africa dying, pregnant women dying, children dying. These are these are the future of Africa. These people are the future of Africa because these are young men and women dying. These are not old people. These are people in their 20s, in their 30s, early 30s, dying in the Mediterranean Sea. And yet, we have never seen the African Union holding an emergency meeting. But we see the European Union holding an emergency meeting to push them back. We see them doing that. What is the African Union doing? This shows you that what our elder, Joshua Maponga, is saying is a fact. It's a true fact. We don't put value on ourselves. And if you don't put value on yourselves, nobody is going to put value on you. It's as simple as that. And then you cannot force anybody to put any value on you. And then you cannot blame them for not doing that because, as I said, they also have challenges. They also have problems in their countries. Another thing, these people, these are people that just as we don't put value on ourselves, these are our youth who are dying in the Mediterranean Sea. Try to pick one of them and said, stay in your country, in Burkina Faso, stay in Kenya, stay in Ouagadougou, in Ghana, stay in whatever, Nigeria. I'm going to give you maybe 5,000 pounds or $5,000 to start a business. Immediately he received that money, he will use that money to go to start the journey. Because he doesn't see the need to stay in Africa and succeed because colonization has conditioned us to think that you can never make it in Africa. So any little chance you get, you must run away from Africa. It is so pathetic, but this is our sad reality. But it is only a united Africa that can put value to the children of Africa, because a united Africa will mean that the resources of Africa will now be benefiting the children of Africa. And as long as our resources start to benefit us, then we will stop dying in the Mediterranean Sea. So please, the children of Africa, let us fight for a united Africa. United we stand, divided we fall. As we keep saying, we cannot fault ourselves for the Africa that we inherit or we came to meet. But we will blame ourselves if we leave Africa in this same condition for the next generation that will come after us. It is me and you, our duty to make sure that we bring change and give a better Africa, and leave behind a better Africa for the next generation that will come. I thank you very much for coming around. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tell us your share our comment, our content. Tell us what you think, what we can do to see a united Africa become a reality. That is our mission here in One African Mission. Our mission is to see a united Africa. So we need your thought, your intellect, your advice What do you think we should do or we can do to see this unification of Africa become a reality? I thank you very much for coming around. Until we see you next time.